Hi everyone, Jessica here from Paper Ink Stamp and welcome back to my channel. So today's video we are going to be creating 5 cards using this old Hunkydory sort of card making kit. I've had this for quite a long time now, to be honest, and I was having a little clear through my stash the other day, and I was looking to use up a lot of these kind of bits and pieces that I've got hanging around. I've got quite a few of these sort of different topper packs from Hunkydory, so they are going to be coming up. You know, if you've got older card kits like this, even like older projects that you haven't finished, older magazines, things like that, this is hopefully going to encourage you to get them out and just finally use up all of these bits and pieces. Now, unfortunately, because I'd cut the top of the sort of topper sheet off, I don't actually know what this one was called. If you've had a play with this one, if you created cards using this sort of topper pack in the past, let me know what it was called in the comment section down below. So what I had left was one full A4 sheet of paper. I've got that sheet, which is probably about A5, maybe half a sheet, which has got those balloons on it, which we're going to use to create our first cards. And then we had a full strip which said let's celebrate. Yeah, let's celebrate. We've got then just a little bit left over. We have got a few toppers there as well. And yeah, we're going to go and make 5 cards with this. I make 2 DL size cards, a 6x6 and a 5x7. I do add in some extra cardstock. So we have 2. I think it was the blue ocean or ocean blue. And then it was, I can't remember the name of it. It was like the coral color, which I thought would go really nicely with the colors in this kit. I'm also going to bring in a couple of dies as well. Some nesting dies and some Nouveau drops. And then I do end up bringing in actually some birthday party stamps and dies as well, just to help decorate, because we do end up using the topper. So there's quite a lot left over in this kit, and it's great just to kind of use it up and, you know, yeah, just kind of get it finished. So like I said, we're creating 2 DL size cards here to begin with. And so this A5 piece, let me just measure what I actually cut this down to. So it was about 3 3/4 inch possibly. And what I did then, it was just took a small strip from that pink card as well. So when I cut that piece in half with the balloons on it, obviously, you know, I didn't have enough, unfortunately, to cover the whole panel, so I thought I'd make kind of 2 cards that were give or take kind of the same. So I'm just going to add in this lovely little pink strip here. You've got some nice little patterned papers, and this one is going to be quite quick and simple to create. The hardest thing really was just working out the sizes for the panels and then that strip as well. So for the mat and layer for this, like I said, I'm using the ocean blue cardstock, and I'm using the DL stitched rectangles here for both of these. Again, it just adds something a little bit extra to the card. So I'm going to run this through my die cutter machine, and then this is really great because we can create 2 cards at once here. You're not necessarily going to be given these cards to the same person, or this maybe not even the people in the same family, so don't be afraid to create the same card twice. Not every single card has to be unique and, you know, one of a kind. You can absolutely recreate the same cards. So I'm going to be gluing these down. I'm going to be adding the dimension onto the balloon panel. And this is a really great way, is if you have different pieces that you're kind of bringing together. So I'm going to first of all glue this strip on that left-hand side. I don't know if you can hear Myrtle in the background. She's sat on her bed, but she's having a little bit of a whine because I'm not paying her any attention. And then for this balloon panel, I'm going to add some foam tape to this. So this is going to be the portion that gives that dimension. It's going to add something a little bit interesting to the card by having that dimension just on that spot. But like I said, it's a great way. If you have panels of cardstock patterned paper that isn't large enough to fit onto the card size that you want to create, then you can do things like this where you just add in extra strips of paper, and it's a great way then of using up your scraps as well. I was going to I don't know what happened there with the foam tape. I think I ended up getting a bit off by accident, so I had to put some smaller foam tape on there just to help that stand out. So we had 2 sentiments left over in this kit. So we had one that says "Let's Party" and the other said "Happy Birthday," and it's really great. They've got some lovely foiling going on here, some like holographic foiling and things. This really was a lovely kit. I'm not sure even how many cards I initially created using this kit, but it's nice that we can get another 5 cards from it. And to finish both of these off, we're going to use some Nuvo drops, and that colour we've got here is the Dandelion Yellow, and that finishes these 2 easy cards. So what we have left over is a big topper that you can see here. It says "Let's Celebrate" with those same balloons. You can see sort of in the corner there what we've got left, and we have a bunch of frames as well. So with this one, it had a couple of frames that you could keep together. So they were kind of attached together to begin with. I took it all apart, but you can kind of use the frames on their own, which I'm going to show you on another card, is using those frames. So, you know, absolutely don't get rid of those. Or you can just use like the middle piece and then the outside border. You know, there's lots of combinations that you can go with to add, you know, something quite interesting. So just having a play around with what I wanted to do for this card. So we're creating the 6x6. I did toy with using these inverted scallops. I have got a video where I'm going to be using those coming up with one of the Die Cutting Essentials magazines, so definitely look out for that. But we're going to keep this one really, really simple. So we cut some of that coral cardstock. We've got the topper, we've got this "Let's Celebrate" strip here, and then I'm just bringing in the border, that's the word, the frame that went directly next to our topper. So I've cut my coral cardstock down. I've then glued that onto the card. I've then glued our frame on, but then to make it again more interesting, because this is quite a simple card, we're going to be adding the foam tape onto the back of this. And this is a really great way. I like using these toppers with their frames in this way. So gluing one down and then adding foam tape to the other. So if you want to do it the other way, so you could add foam tape to the frame and have the topper glued onto your card. And then I just cut down this "Let's Celebrate" strip, and then that was our sentiment for this card. And then to finish off this card, we added some Nuvo drops in Caribbean Ocean. And again, that just went really nicely and added a little more colour. So there is card number 3 finished. So then on to our next card again. So you can see I've got the frames left over, and I've got virtually the whole sheet of this A4 piece here. So we're going to create a 5x7 card. And so I'm going to use this panel here, which has got this top corner on it. So we're just going to trim this down to fit our page. Again, I don't think I really had a lot left over, and I didn't sort of bring in too much else either. So because we didn't have any toppers left, I had a little look through my stash. So this is a slightly older product now. This is from Hunkydory, and this is their birthday Bonanza. And this is called Party Pieces. So I had, I've got the stamps and the coordinating die sets with this, and you get balloons, you get banners, you get glasses, cupcake, presents, lots and lots of birthday themed stamps in here, which is absolutely perfect. So I did stamp these. I'm going to be colouring and cutting them off camera, but I'm just showing you which ones I used. So we have a couple of balloons. I used the banner, the cupcake. I did stamp and colour those star glasses, but I didn't end up using those. I'm going to be colouring these in with my alcohol markers, and of course using the coordinating dies to cut these out. So I'm inking these and stamping them in the Memento Tuxedo Black ink, because it is an alcohol friendly ink, which is super important when you are using them. So here you can see we've got all of those elements. Again, I just coloured them all, tried to sort of keep in with the colours that we've got in this project, and then die cut them with those coordinating dies. I didn't sort of line them up perfectly, but I did just trim off any sort of excess that I wanted to get rid of any of that white cardstock around it. So we're going to glue this panel down. Again, for some fun dimension, we're going to add some foam tape to this frame. And it's a really nice chunky frame here. You could turn this into a shaker card. These frames would be absolutely perfect for that. I find the frames, if I use any of these kits, it's the frames that usually is what I'm left with. But again, turning them maybe into shaker cards would be absolutely perfect way of using these. So then we have got the banner. So because I'm going to be putting this across our frame, it would be nice, actually, what I could have done is, and everything is sort of in hindsight when you create, is I could have added some really fun birthday critters in here or something, and that would have been really great because it would have made it look like it was kind of a Polaroid, so, you know, a photo. That would have been, maybe that would have looked a little better, but I'm just gluing all the other elements to the inside of this frame. I added some foam tape to a few of those bunting there, if I can find the right words, to the bunting just to help that stand out. And then just by chance, this was, I don't think I really had to take anything off this, but we had this Let's Celebrate banner as well. And again, that was perfect to finish this card and for it to have a sentiment. And then again, I just added some of those Caribbean Ocean Nouveau drops just all around this, sort of inside and around that frame. And then for the last card, so again, sort of coming to the end of what we've got left here. The one thing I haven't actually talked about was just cutting off the little pips that you get. So because these are partially die cut pieces here, they need to obviously stay attached to the cardstock somehow. And they have little tags on them. It does look a little bit nicer, a little bit of a better finish if you do just trim those off. So with this one, again, like I said, we've got kind of minimal supplies left at this point. We've got some of this patterned cardstock left over, and then we do have that frame as well. So this one's going to be a little bit more simple, but I still think it's a nice card. And again, another great way of using up as much as you can in kits like this. So what I've done is I'm die cutting the ocean blue cardstock with that DL stitched nesting die again. That's going to be my base. I've used the DL Scalloped Edged nesting die on the patterned pink paper. And then what I've done as well, what I will be doing, is die cutting this same scalloped edge nesting die with that frame, because it's going to be coming off the edge. It means we can line it up nicely. I'm going to add some foam tape onto the back of this, and I think these colours work so perfectly together. So again, just coming off of the side of this, you can see I'm kind of lining this up to get as much of that frame as I want. And I'm just going to run this through the die cutting machine. So in fact, I could have created another card. I don't think I had enough patterned paper left over. I definitely didn't. But I have got that other half of the frame that I could have used on another card and maybe created something with that. But if that's all I've got left, then I'm really happy with everything that I've used in from this kit. So I'm just going to glue this on. It's going to be a landscape DL size card, and we're just going to put it right up against the edge. I'm just trying to see if there's any other pieces that I can use. I ended up with that little scrap of that strip left over, which I didn't end up using. So what I did was pulled out one of the other die sets I have that goes with the birthday Bonanza. This is the Birthday Wishes die set, and this has got 8 dies, but you've got 4 really big dice. So you've got birthday, wish, surprise, and happy. And I'm going to use the happy birthday on this card here. So I've die cut the birthday from the coral cardstock, and I'm going to do that a couple of times. I think I do it 3 times and glue them together. And then the happy we're going to die cut from that ocean blue card as well. And again, just very, very simple here, but that frame does add something quite nice to this card. Maybe you didn't need to use it in a frame. I could have cut it into strips and used it that way instead. Again, there's lots of different ways that you can use these bits and pieces creatively. So I'm going to be stacking these together. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I die cut this 3 times. It was either 2 or 3 times. So this one here I left in the cardstock that I die cut it from, just to try and help get these line up a lot better. I'm using my Nouveau Deluxe glue there in that small fine tip glue bottle from Crafter's Companion, which is great for these sort of, it's not too thin, but you don't want sort of big blobs of glue everywhere. So I'm going to glue that together, stacked it nicely, and it does create a little bit more of a sturdy die cut as well, and just gives you that kind of dimension, which is perfect if you don't want to sort of fiddle around too much with foam tape. And then I thought this happy just fitted so perfectly within that frame that's where I had to go. I was going to have it kind of coming off of the side a little bit on that frame, but I thought the size just fitted perfectly inside that frame piece. And like I said, we're going to die cut that from the ocean cardstock, but we're only going to die cut that once and glue it flat. So This was the last card that I created with this kit. Like I said, I don't know how many cards I actually have created in total with this kit, but I feel like it's got to be quite a few now, especially if I've done 5 here with all these bits and pieces. I couldn't even tell you how long I've had this sat in just a drawer. Like I said at the beginning, I've pulled out a lot more of these kits that I had left over, and we're definitely going to make the most of them, and we're going to be creating cards with them just to get them gone. We don't want them lying around taking up space too much, and it gives you sort of a nice creative challenge to try and work out how many cards you can get from kits, how far you can stretch it, and really, yeah, just using it. You paid for it, we want to get it used. So on the Happy Birthday again, because it's a little bit more on the plainer side, I decided to get out my Spectrum Noir glitter pen here. So I'm just going over all of the letters here, and then you've got the nice glitter from the letters, and then from that frame as well. Like I said, it had that really lovely holographic finish to it. And then again, to finish this, we're going to use some Dandelion Yellow Nouveau drops in different sizes, which I'm getting a lot better at now, adding those really small Nouveau drops onto my projects, which is really what I wanted to kind of get that variety. And then that is this card finished. And here are the 5 cards that we've created in today's video. So we'll just go through them again. Like I said, unfortunately, I don't know what this kit is called. The chances of you probably being able to get it now might be quite slim. Like I said, it was from quite a few years ago. But yeah, I'm super happy with how all of these came out. And it's great to have some birthday cards in my stash ready to go. And again, quite simple cards here, but sort of using those topper elements, that's kind of the easy part. It's then working out what you can do with the leftovers. Now I'm thinking about it, I do wish with this card that I had picked some birthday critters to put into that frame to make it look like a birthday photo. So that's going to be it for today's videos. If you like it, please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. That's going to be it for today. Thanks very much for watching and happy crafting.